Hey everybody, this is Erica, the technology nerd who likes to film stuff, and right here I have the Xperia XZ Premium that I want to unbox for you guys, and I would love for you guys to ask me questions for the review. I've been very excited to take a look at this in some depth since Mobile World Congress. I had a chance to play around with it then. It's really the successor to the Xperia Z5 Premium. Both of these are 4K devices. This has the Snapdragon 835 SoC, just like the Galaxy S8 does. So let's go ahead and open up the box. So very simple box. You can see here's the device inside. I believe this is the Deep Sea Black. It also came in a very reflective finish as well. This is reflective too. It's just not quite as mirror looking. Hi! You can see me right there. So I figured it would be a little bit easier to film in this Deep Sea Black color. So let's go ahead and take it out and see what's all in the box. So here's just the phone itself. And I thought that this was a really stunning looking phone. I know it has bezels still, but I'm somebody who's actually a fan of bezels. I like having something to hold on to, whether I'm taking a picture or whether I'm playing games or just trying to enjoy some media. I don't want my thumbs to interfere with the screen or touch anything. So for me, bezels still make sense. I do not mind how this looks. So let's go ahead and set that aside. See what all we have in the box. Looks like we've just got some documentation and also the cords here. So I have to seriously thank Clove UK for sending this out to me so I could take a look at it. I'm going to put a link in the description so that you can check them out if you would like to get your hands on one of these devices. I believe this is an international model of the phone, which is a good thing because if you try to pre-order it for the United States, your fingerprint sensor is not going to work. It doesn't mean it doesn't have the hardware to make the fingerprint sensor work. It's just been disabled by software. So it may be worth it to just get the international version. So setting that aside again. Yeah, all pretty standard stuff. Looks like a startup guide. Here's that USB-C cable. Setting that aside. Looks like we have the European brick. And some earphones. And it looks like a clip accessory and extra little earbuds there. And that is all that's in the box. So let's do the fun part and start peeling off the plastic. Ready? Woo! That sounded interesting. So you can take a look. It indeed still has a reflective finish, but it's not crazy reflective. And there's a little diagram on the back that shows us where everything goes. So you can see here that we have one tray with the SIM card and SD card slot. There we are. Yeah, and that's quite nice. It's interesting because it almost appears a little bit bluish. Maybe it's just the lighting source. Definitely it doesn't have as bad of a mirror finish. I'd say if you're going to go for this phone and you don't want a vanity mirror constantly, get the Deep Sea Black one. I believe there's one more color as well. There's the Deep Sea Black, there's the chrome finish, and like a pinkish one? I'll have to check. So we've got a 5.5-inch display pretty much. And taking a look at the front of the Xperia Z5 Premium, I believe that they are the same size. The display, I mean. And while I like the 4K display of the Z5 Premium of last year, I believe that this one's brighter. It improved on several of the complaints that I had about the 4K display. Let's go ahead and turn this on. Now, something I have been hearing people talk about is that there's some distortion issues with the camera. I'm not sure if that's an issue with this one, if that's a hardware problem or a software problem. It seems to not happen in video, so it's probably a software problem. Don't know what Sony's doing with that. So I'll have to test that out for my review. So we're going to let that turn on. Let's take a look around this guy. So on the front here, we have an LED notification light. There's the front-facing camera. Here's the receiver, the ambient light sensor and proximity sensor. Then at the bottom you have a speaker here. And this is actually a stereo speaker device. Same thing as the Xperia Z5 Premium. So Sony is still holding on to that stereo sound. Then taking a look at the side here, we've got a little compartment. That is for the SIM card and for the micro SD card. Yep, and this is where you slide in your nano SIM. Just slide that back in. That feels really nice. It's almost a seamless feel to it. Then taking a look at the bottom, we have a microphone, USB-C charging port. Then on the right-hand side, we've got the volume rocker, the fingerprint sensor / power button, and the dedicated 2-step camera key. Then we have a 19 megapixel camera on the back. There is no optical image stabilization, but it does have electronic image stabilization that is tied to the gyroscope, and Sony has been known for having seriously the best image stabilization, so no worries there. I got to see it in action for myself at MWC, so not worried about that. And also you can see that we have the camera flash. We've also got NFC in this device. There is no wireless charging, but there is fast charging. And we also have a locked-in battery. But the battery size is actually quite small, and that's what concerns me most. It's got a 3,230 milliamp hour battery. That's not very big. And I saw them doing some workarounds with power management and things. But I'd rather have a little bit bigger battery than have to kind of dumb down the performance of my phone. So that's something that I'm really going to have to take into consideration as I review this to see how does the battery life actually do. We've got a better chip in this thing, a more power efficient chip, so we'll have to see. Then lastly, at the top, we have a standard headphone jack and another microphone. So just taking a look at this feels insanely beautiful. I don't really understand why people think that it's ugly. It's really, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and each to his own. I like how the top is chamfered, and the bottom is also chamfered. I just love how the metal just meets and seamlessly fuses. It is more beautiful than the Xperia Z5 of last year. It's less boxy, more rounded, feels better in the hand. Okay, so I took some time to set it up and just install a couple of things on this, so I have a little bit of things to quickly say. So you can just turn it on with the fingerprint sensor. It works pretty quickly, which is nice. At this current second, I'm not sure if there's a setting to just allow it to turn on and unlock if you just simply touch it with your thumb. Right now it looks like you have to push down, and it works very quickly after you've pressed down to execute it. So this is a 5.5-inch 4K display. This is also the first 4K display that supports HDR10. And Amazon is supposed to have a deal with Sony, so if you, in theory, watch things on Amazon Prime, you should be getting some HDR content, but I'm not currently seeing that. And that's the thing, just because it's capable of HDR doesn't mean that it's going to happen right now at this moment. Not until the streaming services are ready. So currently I'm seeing neither 4K or HDR support in either Netflix or on Amazon, but I do see 4K support on YouTube, which is really nice. So if you select your quality, you can see that we've got the option for 2160p, so that's Ultra HD right there. So that's really, really nice. Something that I got tipped on about at MWC is that there was supposed to be a setting for you to be able to choose what resolution you want the interface to function in, such as 4K, 1080p, and it looks like under settings we're not seeing any of those options, so it looks like it's, again, acting like it did on the Xperia Z5 Premium, where essentially it would be upscaling a 1080p interface. So that's unfortunate, although I'm sure this is done in effect to save battery life. But right now, all I can see is YouTube working with the 4K. Of course, their own applications are going to work with 4K, such as the Gallery and Video app. One thing I'm noticing right away is that this device gets quite warm. You've got Gorilla Glass 5 on the front and on the back, and it's quite smudgy, quite fingerprinty. If you don't like the look of fingerprints, I would recommend getting, again, the Deep Sea Black one, because they don't show as bad. Just wipe it on my pants a little bit. And that really helps get rid of the appearance of the fingerprints. So it indeed has a really nice oleophobic coating on here. So those fingerprints shouldn't stick too badly if you're pulling it in and out of your pocket. Now, while I do not mind these tall bezels, it is quite interesting to go from the Xperia XZ Premium to the Galaxy S8 Plus, and you can see that this is really all screen with that 18.5:9 aspect. And I think what's going to be most disturbing for people is that the navigation bar cuts off a bit of your screen real estate too. So you can see this is your operating screen real estate versus your operating screen real estate on the Galaxy S8. So you can see that's quite a bit of a difference. I think that is going to take some getting used to, again, going backwards. So I am a little bit disappointed that we don't have the option to mess around with changing between 4K and 1080p. That seemed to be what Sony had desired for this product. But you do have some control over the display, at least with how it looks. So you've got underneath quality, you can control for your color gamut and the contrast. Right now it's underneath the professional mode. I prefer the sRGB mode. That's going to be your most accurate, your most color accurate mode for consumer content. such as what's on the internet, YouTube, Netflix, all that's going to be sRGB, or Rec. 709. Then you've got the standard mode, so you can have a more brilliant saturated mode, and then there's the super vivid mode. So that's nice that you have the option to choose how you want the display to look, and then of course you have the white balance, so you can choose how you want that white point to look. This display looks like it's probably a little bit on the cool side, and I see a little bit of a green push, a little bit of a green bias on here. So you can control for that. So I'm going to take some time to play around with this. Again, please, you guys, ask me your questions. So this has been Erica, the technology nerd, likes to film stuff. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Hang tight for the review on this device. Have a good night. Bye!